Well, it's the very end of March. I said I would make another video in March, and I am holding myself to that promise. So here's my March video. Nothing going on, like nothing at all. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that. I don't even remember what I talked about in the last video. I think it was about just some of the more recent things I watched. I think I talked about Tron, yeah, stuff from last year. Is that this year? I don't even remember. Shoot. I guess there's a couple things going on. I saw that they have this cool promotion on Disney to get HBO Max, and it wasn't that much more money, so I subscribed to HBO Max just because. And I watched the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and that was not awful. It was okay. It was really straightforward. Obviously, it's not like the other stuff where you've got all these different point of view characters that it's jumping around, like Game of Thrones and then House of the Dragons, where you got all these different characters you're following. It's just the one guy, and it's like Dunk and Egg, right? That's the big names or characters for this. And it's very to the point. I liked how it's an interesting change in perspective. We're used to seeing the like royal class, and he's a hedge knight. He's more under all that, so those things are happening in the background, and you can see how it does affect things, like his trial by combat, because he attacked a Targaryen for doing something, whether it was because the Targaryen didn't appreciate some play that was happening or something. Anyway. Clearly I watched the show, but not a lot sunk in. But it was okay. It was a little bit of a change from what you usually see from this Game of Thrones Westeros stuff, right? Like very different and very fresh in the sense that we are looking at a different perspective and a different class of people. Egg ends up being a Targaryen. I think there's no secret there. I don't know if that matters at all. But because of that, we leave the show off where we're going to have further adventures of Dunk and Egg. I did a little bit of asking questions and digging, because I thought they were part of something different. Like, I thought that maybe Egg was the guy from, geez, it's been so long. I thought Egg might have been the old guy at the wall, Aemon Targaryen? I don't know. I thought it might, the blind guy that dies during, but it's not. It's not him. It's Summerhall, a big event that happens. So we will be getting Summerhall, I guess, whatever that means. I know it's a big deal. I've seen lots of YouTube videos talking about it. I think I slept through every one of them. Great nap time stuff. But something, Summerhall, not good. And we'll get there. It burns everybody. And I thought, honestly, that Duncan the Tall was one of the guys at the... I thought that whole time, this is one of the guys that knows... what was the Tower of Joy with Lyanna Stark? I thought he was one of those, but he's not. So I was way off this whole time, thinking that there might have been a hint somewhere or something, but it doesn't really matter. The show stands on its own. Their story is a fun one. There's a lot of humor to this, more so than I think the other shows incorporate. It's almost like a central feature of the show is that it's a little more humorous. It has a little more fun. So, not bad. Not a terrible time. I don't know what more to say about the Adventures of Dunk and Egg. What was it called? I already forgot what it's called just right now. It's Night of the Seven Kingdoms, yeah. So, what else? Daredevil's got a new season. Yeah, I think it only has one episode as of right now, so we'll watch that and see how that goes. The Daredevil season 1 Born Again was not great. I didn't really like I don't know what to think about it. Like, Daredevil seems like you would focus on the street level. You would almost do more visual things with Daredevil. But I always... And the Netflix ones felt more soap opera-y, I guess. I don't know. Too much like for every action scene, you got 3 or 4 scenes of this, just them talking and light flirtation, you know? Like, that was Daredevil. And it seems like we're still going there. It seems a little more gritty. Like they killed Foggy that first season. And they brought back Bullseye, but Bullseye doesn't seem as dangerous as he should. Bullseye should be dangerous. But there's lots of, I guess, hints that we're getting the Defenders and obviously Punisher's here. He's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie. The Bernthal Punisher, I don't really care for, but it's something. So we'll see how this Daredevil's Born Again Season 2 goes. Season 1, a little bit of a disappointment. I think that it was like multiple writers happening, so it seemed unfocused, and it really did. Like, this is the mayor of, Kingpin is mayor of New York, and I don't know. I think in the comics, I read that a while ago, and I don't really remember too much about it, but I know that Luke Cage becomes the mayor after Kingpin. We're bringing back Luke Cage, so he's probably going to become the new mayor eventually. But I don't know. The Kingpin, where we ended off, like, I think it was Bullseye was going to assassinate Kingpin, and Daredevil took a bullet for him. So we'll see what's going to happen with Daredevil from that. And Kingpin is not Wilson Fisk is not going to be friendly towards him. I don't think it's going to make him more nice or anything. We've also got the Punisher police thing. That's really stupid. I don't know what the point of that is. Like, why are we doing this anti-vigilante task force thing? Like, I don't know. It seems like we're missing the point of a potentially cool story by focusing so much on whatever that is. I don't really get what that's about. And I know that's what he pushed in the comics, was the anti-vigilante stance, sort of like the in a lot of ways. I remember reading it thinking this is just the, what do you call it, the Civil War, when they had the superheroes had to register, something like that, but on a lesser scale. And I think Spider-Man had more to be involved with this, and of course they can't do that because it's Sony. So maybe that's what's going on. We'll see how season 2 does. I'll see, but I didn't really like season 1 that much. I thought it was kind of just there. They could do much worse. Disney Plus is not really known for having good content, I guess. It's mostly just garbage. Like, there's more things I think I've skipped on Disney Plus than I've watched. And it's not good. Like, I know that's a really simple way to put it, but like Andor Season 2, I know people loved Andor Season 1. It was there. It happened. I think Andor Season 1 felt good because it wasn't awful. And Star Wars is so bad. It just sucks. There hasn't been a good Star Wars anything since the prequels, and the prequels were not great. So Star Wars is just in the toilet. But Andor was not absolute trash. So I think that's why people liked it. But it wasn't enough to get me to watch Andor Season 2. So I don't know. I gotta go back and watch that. I did watch, and I think I talked about this the last video, but I did watch Simon Williams. What's his name? Wonder Man. Pretty sure I talked about that, so I won't retread it, but not awful. It sounds like they're getting a season 2 of that one as well. Anything else to talk about here? Oh, there's a Super Mario Brothers movie coming out. That looks fun. And I guess Star Fox is gonna be in there. What? Okay, that's something they shouldn't have said, and we should have just been surprised when it came into the movie. But yeah, I guess we're getting a Star Fox crossover. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Good transition to video games, because video games, maybe there's a little bit more interesting things going on. EverQuest. EverQuest has been chugging along for years and years and years. Nothing really to talk about there, other than they have a new thing that they're doing. There was one of these emulation servers, I don't remember the full story. It got in legal trouble with Daybreak. So they took down a server, or I don't know if it was like a EQ emulation platform, I don't know. But either way, I guess the result is that Daybreak is making their own emulation server called EverQuest Legends. And it sounds like it could be a lot of fun. It's basically just a remake, or they're remixing the original EverQuest. I don't know if it goes into Kuhn Archibelius, but it would be great if it gets there. They are including all the races, so we are still getting Froglocks and Ixar and all that, even though it's the original EverQuest. So just Antonica, Odious, and Fedwar, right? But it's going to be the old Ixar. They're all the old models. They're not the new ones from Lucklin. It's going to be, so Froglocks are the old Froglocks from Guck. That's what you're going to play as. You're going to have, instead of the Bashir, it's going to be the Karens from Kara Isle. Kind of cool. And we are getting all of the updated classes, so it's still going to have Berserkers and Beast Lords, even though that was like the original EverQuest. But the thing that got me was, this emulation server is made for casual gaming, meaning it's not a hardcore server. You don't need to go group the whole time. You could just casually log in and play through. I want to go look at Soul B. I could play through Soul B and just have fun with it. How they're going to do that is, it's multi-classing. You can have up to 3 classes on one character. I don't know how that's going to work, but that sounds really interesting. Like, I was already thinking, wow, like, okay, Paladin, of course, because I'm always Paladin. But what spells or what things would I bring to a Paladin to make it more soulable? And of course I'm crazy, so I think Paladin and Enchanter are like excellent classes to work together. So I'm going to do that. The third one, I don't know what to do with. I'm thinking Wizard, maybe, because of the teleportation and just some nukes. I think that utility would be good, and it would be nice to have just bang, like occasionally. But I'm also a purist, so I'm going to make a high elf Paladin. So it has to be high elf classes. So the other option might be like a mage, because then you'd have a second tank, or second, I guess you could have rogues and stuff like that, versions of the pets, but you wouldn't get teleportation. Or you could do, what do you call it, a cleric. But a paladin cleric seems like it might be, you're just getting the one thing. If you're slowing it and you're hasting yourself and you got your little bit of heals and occasional escape plans, stuff like that, I don't know why you'd need a cleric. Unless you're going to do something big, because the cleric, it would be the big heals, right? And that would be great, but if you're, as a paladin, if you're in the middle of combat, half the time your own spells don't go off if you're trying to heal yourself. So why do you think the cleric spells would go off? Especially like a complete heal or something like that, trying to heal yourself in the middle of combat. I think it would help with downtime maybe, but then you'd be meting more. I don't know. I think that the paladin cleric is a little too much overreach, and the utility of like the wizard or mage, I'm leaning towards. I'm thinking wizard. So think like I could do paladin, enchanter, wizard, and I guess there's also like ways you can level up your armor and have different types of boosts of some kind. Like it sounds like there was like the stats on the gear could be changed. I don't know. We'll see. But it sounds fun. And it even says that you can basically solo the whole thing. So even through like Plane of Hate and the Dragon, so Nagi and Vox. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I was also kind of thinking about like what would be the other cool things you could do. Shadow Knight Necromancer combo, because maybe you would have a much tougher pet with a Shadow Knight, like a much tougher pet. And that was the thing about Shadow Knights, is that they always had that weak pet. It's cool, it's fun, but its utility is minimal. Now you'd have a serious mean pet to go with you. That seems cool. Or like I was thinking like a Shaman Beast Lord combo, like a Shaman Beast Lord monk. That would be an interesting combo, because you basically have a killer pet, feign death. You'd have pretty decent damage output, plus all the utility of a shaman. Like, wow, that would be insane, right? I was trying to figure out like a druid or a ranger combo that would really work. I think like ranger druid shaman, or ranger druid, maybe even something go crazy with it, like ranger druid now I'm losing track what I was thinking. Beast Lord, because the Beast Lord again has that crazy pet. So like a ranger with a crazy pet that can teleport. Sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. And casual is the name of the game at my age. I don't really want to commit to a second job. EverQuest was a second job when I was really into it. I played that game. My playtime is over a year, and it was rating and all that is basically a second job, and I don't want to do that. It's cool, but yeah, this EverQuest Legends server sounds like it is going to be a lot of fun. I did sign up for the beta. I don't know when and if I'll get any word on that, but I'll try it out, and I'm going to enjoy the nostalgia of revisiting Norath and being able to just casually fly through it. Not that I couldn't do it in live. I mean, my paladin's so high level, I could go to the old zones and basically just walk through them and not even be touched. But there's something to the multi-classing that just sounds fun. It sounds like you're like breaking the game. You're so cheating. Like this, can you imagine this back in like, what was it, 2002 or 2003, doing something like this? You'd feel like you were just the coolest guy in town. I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I am looking forward to trying that out. So EverQuest Legends. I will try it, and I will report on it, and I will, if I ever get invited to it. If not, who knows when it's actually going to be released. But it's kind of a cool new thing that we can do. So, all right. Let's see, March, April. Sure, I'll make a video in April. Not much plans for what we're going to do in April, but I think that's when the Mario movie comes out anyway, so we can talk about that at least. So we'll go see Mario and Daredevil. Sure, we'll talk about Daredevil, because obviously that's coming out too. All right, bye.